Hello, everybody. Good evening. We are going to be starting the Dungeon of the Mad Mage tonight. But first, we're going to talk about the Tomb of Horrors finale that we had last week because I actually screwed up and deleted the video. That's why it's not on there yet. So we're just going to kind of talk about the ending for a couple of minutes before we get into playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So I'm going to get everybody a quick little, uh, you know, part to speak about the game. We'll talk about it, and then we're gonna move on to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So, thanks for everybody for hanging out tonight. Totally appreciate it. Good to see everybody here, and we are gonna get going. So, all right, hey everybody, what's up?
Hello, hello.
So we're
Hey,
gonna talk. Hey, we're gonna talk about the Tomb of Finales ending. Well, the Tomb of Horrors finale that we had last week.
Let's change the name of it.
No, no. You know me in the English language. We don't get along very well. The human English language and I. So like I said, we're gonna seeing that I made a boneheaded mistake last week and deleted the Tomb of Horrors finale. It was one of those 5 to 6 a.m. mornings where I was getting to bed super super late or early, however you want to say it. And I accidentally went. Last thing I had to do was delete my recycling bin. Well, delete all of my recordings because I record a bunch and then I'll edit them all and then I go and delete them to get more room on my hard drive. So I deleted it on accident. So I apologize about that. We'll kind of talk about it for a little bit, but appreciate you guys being here tonight. And we will go ahead and do a brief recap on what. Well, actually, you can do as long as a recap as you want on Tomb of Horrors, and then we'll kind of talk about the ending and stuff like that. So, all right, I think Omi's going to give it the recap.
yep, I'll go ahead and give it.
Sounds about right.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, go for it.
No, wait.
No wait,
right.
no wait.
Okay, okay, do it now.
Hey, what's up, Loco?
All right.
QPR.
So when last we left our heroes in the Tomb of Horrors, Omi, Shen, Zero, Nathray, and Vey, they continued to explore some additional rooms to find the final two keys which they needed for the big door that they were trying to get through. And upon going to that door and trying to open it with the keys did fit, and the door opened up. And inside, we found a giant room full of many, many pillars. And at the southern portion of that room, there was a throne with Markesh sitting in it, holding Mr. Spoony. As Markesh rose up from the throne and taunted us, he did not like seeing Omi. He hurled Mr. Spoony against the western wall.
Idaho.
Mr. Spoony landed very much hurt. And then Markesh suddenly started changing shape, and before us, he turned into a giant red dragon and growled at us. Party immediately went into action and went to fight Markesh as this large red dragon. Markesh engaged the party, and it was looking grim at first, until we heard a loud noise behind us, and the wall just crashed and crumbled as Vorn burst through it like the Kool-Aid Man,
Yeah.
and charged Markesh as the Red Dragon. And at the same time, Nathray blew his special horn that he had been saving, summoning a horde of berserker warriors.
The clutch roll of all time, by the way. That was the clutch roll of all time.
Did you roll the max?
Yeah, you did.
And given the Given the fury of the party, the berserkers and Vorn combined, Markesh could not withstand the assault, and Markesh eventually went down, dead.
Yeah, he tried to fly away.
After Markesh died, a strange portal started opening, and stepping through was Tressa the Red from the land of Charybdis. She approached us and congratulated us on a job well done, and offered us transport, either back to Waterdeep in Faerun or the land of Charybdis.
And wasn't that suspicious timing?
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
It was suspicious timing.
It's like the end of an 80s movie.
Tressa, as the party considered her offer, Shen decided that he would be happier in the land of Charybdis, being that it was full of water. And they also decided that there would be a better place for her. So with a sad farewell, the rest of the party bid they and Shen farewell as they stepped through the portal. About a minute after stepping through the portal, Mr. Spoony started undergoing a reaction where he started having blisters and veins showing up, and he did not look good. Omi rushed to him, held him, picked him up, and said, "No, please don't die, Mr. Spoony." But unfortunately, Mr. Spoony couldn't survive his ordeal and the wounds he had sustained.
The death curse caught up to him, Omi.
Yep, it did. And Omi, just after losing his best friend Shen, and now having Mr. Spoony die in his arms, just went into a catatonic state of depression. And the last thing we saw was Nathray and Zero picking Omi up off the ground and helping him towards the portal, which would take the 3 remaining party members back to Waterdeep.
Wow, good recap. So how did you guys see that? That was a good recap, and that's where pretty much the party kind of goes their own way in Waterdeep, and I guess Omi goes into a deep depression. So what did you guys think of the Tomb of Horrors? Because the Tomb of Horrors was, honestly, it's from the Tales from the Yawning Portal, which came out probably about a year and a half ago. And it is, I believe it's supposed to be a level 12 to 15 and up party. You guys were level 5, and you guys did an excellent job.
Well, didn't you use the old school version?
I did. I used a lot of the old school art that I imported, and I also jacked up everything to higher challenge ratings, because why have a challenge rating 2 skeleton against a supposed level 15 party? I mean, that just didn't make any sense. All of the number crunching and engineering that went into this whole entire, especially with the giants and up, I don't think the math was done right. And, all of these, I understand some encounters are supposed to be speed humps, but when you have traps doing 2d10 damage to level 15 characters, I mean, that's not threatening. It's like, to me, it wasn't the Tomb of Horrors. So that's why I jacked everything up and modified a bunch of stuff.
Anyway.
It is. It is in some aspects. Once a group hits level 5, it's pretty much almost game over because of how easy everything gets and how the monsters don't. I will say the manual monsters don't scale, but as more content has come out, Xanathars and Volos and Kobold Press's Tome of Beast, monsters are actually getting more challenging with more reactions, more features, just not, the boring old kobold that's 1/8 challenge rating at 1d4, 1d6 damage at +2, and you just shove 30 of them at a, level 15 party. I want to make things more memorable. I would rather have 2 challenge rating 12 or 15 kobolds that I would make myself to do sneak attacks and area of effect attacks instead of just zerging. When a mage can just drop 1 fireball or 1 lightning strike and just get rid of everything. So, but that's what I wanted to do. I think it was more difficult. But if you guys were level 15, there would have been absolutely no challenge. The only thing that would have happened, we still would have lost 2 characters that got squashed. But then again, that's just the way the Tomb of Horrors is. There's a couple places in there where there's just automatic deaths. So, but nobody went into the demon's mouth or anything like that. I was hoping at least one person would go in there, but nobody's.
Was that automatic death?
It would almost. It would have basically teleported you to the entrance and all of your gear to the vault of Asuryurak. And then there was a couple of other places where your genders could have been permanently changed if you would have jumped into one of the portals and stuff. So I think that would have been interesting.
All those misty portals were like that?
Yeah. So yeah, it was the misty portals, like the one in the temple, the evil temple, that if you would have, I think it was the one in the temple. If you would have went in that, it would have changed your gender on you. So, and the only thing that would have possibly cured it would have been a wish spell or something like that. So, but,
I'm glad we didn't mess with those things. And
yeah, but I jacked up the damage, and you guys just did so well, especially with the end fight and Nothra using the Horn of Valhalla. I said to myself, he's only going to get like 2 or 3 of them. Jesus, man. I saw double 4s and I was like, oh man, it's game over for Marcus. And also when you went into the tilting room by yourself, Nothra, that was fun too. But you had that Ring of Fire resistance on, so that did you well.
Yeah, I would have died otherwise.
Yeah, and you had a clutch roll too. Somebody gave you inspiration, I think, because you failed your roll, and then
I think a couple people did.
Yeah. I remember there was a couple times where you guys burned through all of your inspiration but that's the Tomb of Horrors. But and also Zero, how did you like seeing Zorn again at the end? Vorn, because I knew that.
Vorn, yeah.
I knew that you.
Well, I thought that was going to be our ringer.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be our ringer, and then he blew that horn and just saved us. I mean, really, that fight was kind of easy because of those.
Oh, the Berserkers, yeah, the Berserkers changed the whole dynamic of that encounter.
Yeah, but you didn't say that Zero was frightened the whole time, so Zero was running away. Zero wasn't really in the fight. He had Vorn.
Yeah. And
Vorn did a couple things, but
yeah, from Frightful Presence, and so was Chief. Chief was feared for the majority of that fight as well.
Jim was frightened and squashed, so he was not having a good day at all.
Yeah.
He go back to the sea.
I think it could have been a whole different outcome if Frightful Presence wasn't successful as it was, and if there weren't as many Berserkers. I think it would have been a whole different outcome. I think it could have actually ended pretty bad because, if you remember, Marcus was going right for Omi at the beginning, but then Marcus became totally surrounded by all these Berserkers, and I couldn't move him any closer to Omi just because of the simple fact of, those 10 Berserkers were, blocking the path, which, like I said, that was such a clutch roll. I never expected to have 10 of those. And those things are massive because they get advantage on attacks, from reckless attack. They have like 67 hit points. I mean, they're ridiculous. So
he rolled really low on 2 of Markesh's attacks on Omi, but Omi could have easily gone down on this.
Yeah, and I was using, I was pulling all the stops. I was using 3 legendary action points around and all that. So it's not like, I wasn't trying to go for blood. I mean, it's a finale. It's supposed to be epic. It's supposed to be a memorable encounter, and Yeah, so I was doing all of the. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I think I'll do a legendary action here, and every time I would do that wing buffet and just knock all those berserkers down, but they just had so many hit points, they just kept getting back up, and it was awesome how everything just kind of worked out and played out and worked together. It was awesome. It was a fun time. I had a fun time doing Tomb of Horrors. Unfortunately, I deleted the video, so that's why we're kind of talking about it now, and we'll put this up as the last finale. So, what do you guys think in closing? I kind of go around to everybody. So, what did you think, Zero, of Tomb of Horrors? What were the parts that you liked? And yeah, just take it from there.
Oh, well, definitely. I'm going to work backwards. Definitely seeing Voring again. You kept name dropping the amulet. It kept getting brighter and brighter,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, he's got something. Something's up.
Well, originally I was going to let you take control of Mr. Spoonie, but I'm like, you know what? I think you would rather have Vorn than take control of Mr. Spoonie, because you didn't get to use Vorn that much. So that's why I let him bust through the wall like the Kool-Aid man.
I think I've only used them 3 times total.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't really have much work with them.
And then Vorn died too. Remember, Vorn lost all
Vorn
power
died
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, but Zero's going to keep that amulet, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
Just as a memorable. Yeah. All the traps were probably the scariest thing. I mean, the battling wasn't much battling, but traps, it was almost instant death if you guessed wrong. I enjoyed the Tomb of Horrors.
Yeah, it was
I liked
pretty
all the
fun.
clues. All the clues were great.
Yeah, you guys knocked it
Had
out of the
fun.
park with the clues, because you guys took notes on those, and you guys, every time you guys came up to something, you were like, oh, that's part of the clue. Especially with like the orbs and stuff, looking high and looking low and stuff like that. You guys did a good job on that.
Yeah. That's about all I gotta say. I enjoyed it. I was scared too. I'm kind of scared of this adventure, but coming up here, but
Oh, yes. Under Mountain's going to be
we have
fun.
lots of fun.
And dangerous.
And dangerous.
What about
So,
you?
yeah, I had blast.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you did. What about you, Vay? Glad that you can talk again, Vay.
I know, that's great.
Everybody thought that all of the wiring came off of your jar with your brain inside of it.
It did. But the scientists, they came back in and plugged it in. It tripped over the cords on the way out for the night.
Jeez.
Okay, well, my opinion of the Tomb of Horrors was, well, as a ranger, I didn't think it was all that fun. It was, I mean, if I had a rogue, that would probably be funner. We do with all the traps and hidden areas. That was pretty cool.
You mean you didn't like
puzzles
getting
were-
bombarded by those crossbow turrets that just kept coming out of the roof every time you guys took a step?
Actually, I liked that scenario and the way you played it. It kept the energy up.
Yeah.
To make it feel like there was an urgency to it. But the puzzles were pretty fun, except for they were all kind of a little too obvious. But I did like getting. I did like that it was tough, because that is the first time I've ever died in an RPG game. Well, without killing myself, of course.
Yeah, you've done that.
Right. So, and it was pretty cool being able to use the reincarnation spell, because I always wanted to use that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, about the reincarnation. That was actually pretty cool. Instead of just taking, what everybody else would have taken was the resurrection scroll. It's cool to see that you actually came back as a rock gnome, and
As a rock gnome,
then
yeah.
you were.
I did see that happening.
Yeah, the player formerly known as the Wood Elf or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you
But
had fun. Though.
I didn't like the lack of any NPCs or RP. just fighting things and traps.
Yeah, I think there was 2 encounters in this module, but that's the whole thing. This is the Tomb of Horrors is pretty much all traps and puzzles and stuff like that. So yeah, Undermountain's going to be much different. Undermountain's going to be it's not going to be old school like the old 2nd edition Undermountain, the big box set where you just kick indoors and roll initiative. It's not going to be like that. There's a lot of political intrigue and fighting between factions and stuff. So it's not just going to be a dungeon grinder where you just kick in a door and just go to combat.
At least this time I made a character for that and also for being a dungeon. So nice. That should make it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of combat, don't get me wrong, because it is Undermountain, but you're going to see a lot of unique stuff that you normally wouldn't see out in a, like a urban environment or your typical wooded areas and deserts or whatever. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff in here. So what about Shen of the Finn?
Shen didn't like getting squished at all.
Yeah.
He definitely needed to get back out on the open seas. Being inland and getting run over by a giant rolling ball of rock was very, very depressing.
Shen was still walking with a limp from that resurrection. And you were still at like -3 or 4 from the...
-3.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was not the same after he got squished.
No, that was that's the thing about taking a resurrection. You're gonna be screwed for at least a while. Up to about a week of game time. Because you can only get one long rest a day, and then it just. I'm surprised there wasn't. Honestly, I'm surprised there wasn't any kind of like Constitution saving throw mechanic added in with resurrection to where you had to have a good day to get one of those the -4 modifier to -3 or -2 or whatever. I was surprised there wasn't anything Constitution saving throw based in there, but yeah, resurrection's a big thing. So what was it that what did you like about it? I know you didn't like getting squashed, but I could have squashed everybody if I didn't roll a 1 on the minimum movement for that big construct that just curled up into a ball. I could have took at least 3 of you guys out at the very beginning, but I rolled like the bare minimum, and it was like so MacGyver for you guys that everybody went into dash mode. Oh man, that was crazy.
Well, I think Shen had kind of taken a role as being the one of the tanks for the party, being out front, leading the battle, taking the damage.
Didn't frighten me.
Yeah, until I was frightened. That was after I got squished. He just was not the same after that. He just, he turned into
Turned it into a landlubber. That's what it was.
Yeah. He couldn't have that. He had to get back up.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I was actually surprised you went to Charybdis. I didn't think anybody was going to go, but I was really shocked that Vey went. But I was also shocked that you. But then it made sense after you said, I wanted to have my ship again, and I was like, yeah, that. And then Captain Short John, whatever his name was, Captain Half John. Yeah, you guys made up at the end. That was pretty cool.
Yes, well, it was like an end of an '80s movie.
Tomb of Annihilation campaign. I thought it was really fun. It was the first. That was my first experience not playing in Adventure League in probably 20 years. Of actually playing a campaign that wasn't so rigid and structured. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Nothray, what about you? You joined us towards, I think, the middle of the campaign. We had a couple of players just kind of disappear. So how did you like the Tomb of Horrors, and what did you like about it, and what did you not like about it and stuff?
Well, I played through all of Tomb of Horrors and the previous one. I joined back when you guys were on the one with the dinosaurs, I guess.
Back on Cholt, yeah.
Yeah, Cholt. But Tomb of Horrors was cool. Never played it before. Always heard bad things about it. And it was definitely lived up to what people had said. It was tough. I'm surprised we didn't all die, to be honest.
I figured there were going to be more deaths. I honestly, I really did. I would have figured you guys would have had makeshift wheelbarrows by the end of it, pushing all of these corpses around. That's what I thought was going to happen. But
well, I think that they were all seasoned players too, so that helped.
Yeah, that's another good point you bring up, because the typical, and I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers here, with the viewers, but your typical average murder hobo group, I don't think would have survived this, just because of, I don't think they would have taken the precautions or tried to solve the riddles or anything like that. But you guys really did nail it out of the park. You guys did such a great job.
Well, you had a clutch roll there, Nathray.
Yeah, he was the hero. He was the hero of the.
He was the hero toward the end.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, for sure.
He took point. He took point. Remember, Omi was getting hurt.
Yeah, and another thing,
acid and shit.
And especially that Darganoth, went MIA. So it was cool to see Omi kind of step up and also kind of play the rogue role. Jack of all trades is so good for a bard, and I think that helped you guys as well, because Omi had a lot of roles that were successful because of Jack of all trades, and if he didn't have that half proficiency, there would have been I think there would have been a lot more damage going around. And yeah, so. So I'm glad you guys liked it. Omi, what about you? What did you think? In you and Shen, you were the only two original players that were from when we first started. I mean, it's almost what I would say close to going on maybe 2 years now that you guys played Adventures League, and we didn't do milestones, of course, and you guys were only level 5 after 2 years. I mean, that's like, when you only play once every couple of weeks. Since the beginning, yeah. Yeah, you guys were, and then Vey came in like right after, and probably about a couple months after, and then Zero was in the other game. He was in the Saturday night game, and then he came over to the Friday game, and then Nathray, she joined us when you guys did the Tomb of Annihilation, and when you guys went to Cholt. So,
yeah,
in fact,
Trinkets had visited them a little bit in the past.
Yeah, because I believe Trinkets was an Adventurers League character that you pulled over, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, she was taking in half of Omi's profits there first.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wow.
I totally forgot about that.
I realized there were no profits.
Yeah.
Yep, she was Omi's manager.
Yeah, was the manager.
Oh, that Bucket Man video just still sticks in my head from about a year and a half ago when you played that.
Oh, the Bucket Man, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So what did you think, Omi? Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, that's all right. I really liked it. I didn't expect to step up into the rogue role, but I enjoyed doing that for the adventure. The tilting room was a fun room. Being able to save Nathray with some bardic inspiration in there was pretty fun.
Bardic inspiration, man. That's such a clutch spell you use all the time as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he would have failed his roll if he hadn't had that extra D8 on there. I like the rolling rock room a lot too. When we were in that room,
you liked it because you didn't die. That's why you liked it.
Yeah. I had the Wall of Force scroll, and I thought it would have been, and I was gonna thinking about using the wall of force to block the rock, but where Omi was standing in that room, I thought that would be, he wouldn't really know exactly what was going on, and that would be pretty meta to do that. But I did have the knock spell on my list, so I decided to open the door instead.
Yeah, it was a clutch to have that
Yeah.
spell. I mean, we would have been a TPK maybe without that spell.
Yeah, that's a
It was
good one
close.
for someone in your group to have in any kind of dungeon adventure. Hint, hint.
Yeah. But then it also helped with the rolling, the rolling construct. It also helped when I rolled minimum. Because I could have got you, Omi. I could have got you, Zero, and Nothray at the very beginning. And yeah, that was crazy. Because Shen was already out. Shen was like unconscious. And Vey was helping Shen as you guys sprinted past. And Vey was like, what the hell is probably going on? And then all of a sudden, her spirit's like, lifting out of her corpse, X's on her eyes.
Yeah.
And then I really liked the end encounter, how we wrapped up Marquesh's story and Mr. Spoonie's story, and what effect that had on Omi at the very end of that.
I don't think you were expecting me to kill off Mr. Spoonie. I don't think you were expecting that. Especially when, Marcus threw Spoonie over to the side and you went over and he was okay. And then all of a sudden, at the end, he was the death curse. So when he died, when the witches were killed and the portal opened and Teresa the Red. So I wanted to try to incorporate as much as I could. Like Vey said, the cheesy 80s, movie ending. I wanted to bring all of those characters out and kind of just put everything to rest at one time,
It was kind of emotional,
Oh, yeah. There was a point to where I was like, oh, man, I'm killing off Mr. Spoonie. What a dick. I was like, man. But,
no, I think that was a good way to wrap up Marquesh's and Mr. Spoonie's story, and we'll see about Omi.
Yeah. I mean, it's always open for later on that, the party could possibly reunite in ways. I mean, you never know. I mean, but I'm sure we'll probably be playing Undermountain for quite a while, so there is quite a bit of content to this. And it's a level 5 to 20, so you guys will actually hit the high levels.
And when I introduce my new character, I'll give some information about Omi, what happened to Omi, but I'll save that for when we get to that.
Yeah, right on. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I liked jacking everything up on you guys and making it dangerous. And like I said, you guys did so good for a group of level 5 characters. It was just amazing. And Nothray at the end, man, that was just so clutch, because honestly, I think it could have went very badly. I think it could have been a TPK. If Omi would have went down, because Marcus was gunning to take Omi out, and Omi just got thrashed the first round. But whenever all of those berserkers just kind of clogged the area, that was it. And plus, I didn't have any recharges on Fire Breath either. I think it lasted 4 rounds. And Frightful Presence in the first round did really well. And then it all kind of fell apart for Marcus in the second round because of all of the berserkers. And it was funny what you said. I remember what you said, Nothray. Oh, you guys are going to love what I'm going to do. But I never expected, a maximum roll for berserkers. So good job. You were like, you saved the day on the last encounter, man, for sure.
Yeah, thanks to that roll, man, because otherwise I think we would have been dead. Even if we had 2, I think that wouldn't have been enough.
The minimum would have been 4.
Well, yeah, that was why I brought back
the minimum would have been 4.
Yeah, it would have been 4. I figured, 4 to 6, but I didn't expect 10. And that's why I gave Vorn back to, that's why I had Vorn come back to 0, was because he was going to be that added kind of buffer between the party and Marcus. So, yeah. But good job. I mean, you guys nailed it out of the park, and it was such a great finale. it was great. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys playing. It was super fun. Actually, the last two finales have been really good. You guys, with the Tomb of Horrors wrapping up the entire, campaign, and then the Lost Mine of Phandelver on Saturday. That was really good. That was really good too. And when they're done with Waterdeep Dragon Heist, they're going into a random level within Undermountain, because remember, they took a portal chasing the Black Spider, because one of their party members was killed and drug into the portal by the Black Spider.
Who's doing this?
The Saturday night group.
Random.
They're going to be on within the first couple of levels of Undermountain.
Oh, ouch.
I'm going to put
23.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't
like
do that to him.
or something.
No, I'm doing the first 5 levels. So I'm going to roll a d20 and figure out what level. But then they can go up or down, because there's also portals and runes in here, and all kinds of. I mean, there's stairways to every level anyway. So it just depends on what they want to do.
I see some Mortal Kombat.
You see Mortal Kombat? What?
Two opposing parties.
It's possible you guys may work out some deals with supplies or something. I don't know. You guys may. I don't know. You guys may just feel threatened by one another, and humanistic traits take over, and you guys start fighting. I don't know.
Reckless attack.
Yeah.
Calm emotions.
Fireballs going everywhere. Sneak attacks everywhere. Oh man, that would be crazy. All right, so thanks again, everybody, for playing Tomb of Horrors. I appreciate it, and I had a great time. Well,
okay, see you.
Yeah.
We're out.